What's happening, my dudes, and welcome to the A17 Weapon and Skill Point Guide. In this guide, we're going to review all weapons to see which ones are the best, what is the best ammo to use, and the ammo combination with the ranged weapon that you're using. On top of that, we're going to cover builds on what the best is right now. So let's get started. Alrighty then. Alright, I'm going to spawn in the biker slash Aquaman dude, because he's kind of tanky, so all you Marvel fans, look away. Alright, using stone ammo, we're starting with the bow. It took 7 shots to the head to take him out. Next up, the crossbow. The crossbow using stone arrows yielded 7 shots into the head to take him out, or tied with the bow. Next up, the compound bow. I was a little surprised at the results. So using stone arrows, it doesn't matter which ranged weapon you use in terms of the bow. They all will take 7 shots to the head to take out the biker zombie. Switching to iron ammo now, let's see what kind of results this yields. And it takes, again, 7 headshots using iron. So the difference between stone and iron for the bow is nilch. So make whatever's most convenient. Did you catch that? It takes 1 less arrow using iron arrows on the crossbow. So stone is 7, whereas iron arrows, it takes 6 headshots. But you don't get that advantage using the bow. Interesting. 6 shots, just like the crossbow. So the compound bow and the crossbow are tied at 6, whereas the bow is still 7 for our iron arrow usage. Let's move to the next ammo type, steel. There we go. Using the steel arrows on the bow, it is 6 headshots. That's 1 down from both stone and iron. And the crossbow dials in at 5 headshots using steel ammo. The compound bow is also at 5, so equal to the crossbow. Now I'm curious, with the max skills, will any of these things make a difference? Let's find out. So first, a review of the skills we'll be selecting. We have Perception, which at level 10 says know your enemy's weak point, increased ranged weapon damage by 50% and accuracy by 18. We're really after this for the 50% damage bonus because we did say max skills. Naturally, we're going to pick archery next. At 5, 50% faster aiming with bows, and reload and draw are 50% faster. Technically, this is more DPS on paper because you can reload faster and shoot faster, thus more DPS, but you're not actually getting a raw damage bonus picking this skill. The next, we're doing boom headshot at 5, increased ranged weapon headshot damage by 100%. 15% chance to explode heads on hit. Now, I have to say I don't agree with the 15%. I think it's much higher than that. The reason I say that is with this skill selected, it was hell trying to collect the content where their head didn't explode to find out how many shots it actually takes because their head kept exploding. That's why I feel that that percentage is higher, but who knows, maybe I was really lucky that day. The last skill, and this is more or less a bonus, is run and gun. At 5, hip fire accuracy is improved by 25%, but no movement penalty when reloading. This is huge, especially in PvP later, and it's just a quality of life improvement because you're going to be on the go and you're waiting for that reload. So to have that, I would say would be an essential thing to have. Let's start the process over now with max skills and see what happens. Only 4 stone arrows required with max skills. Not a bad investment. Only 3 shots with the crossbow, and yes, his head exploded, but trust me, I did a lot of testing, and it's only 3, which is pretty good. So crossbow and compound bow are both at 3 using stone arrows. 3 iron arrows for the bow. Also 3 for the crossbow, which is kind of surprising. So with iron arrows, it doesn't matter what bow you use. It's going to take 3 iron arrows if that's what you're using. Moving on to the good stuff, steel. Only 3 shots with the bow. Dang, only 2 for the crossbow. And surprisingly, 3 for the compound bow. They've been neck and neck really the whole time, but until now, the crossbow finally showed its strength. Now these are on paper numbers. Doesn't necessarily mean one is better than the other. You pick what you enjoy. However, let's take a look at rate of fire because that does play a role in DPS. So coming in at the fastest is the regular old bow. It's very fast actually, much faster than the other 2. Second place is the compound bow. It fires at a reasonable rate. And lastly, you have the crossbow, which does the most damage with the steel arrow, but is the slowest rate of fire. Now you could theorize and argue, but I have to say the crossbow is out, because although it takes 1 less arrow, you have more gains because of the rate of fire over using one of the other 2. So technically, I mean, you use what you have available and what you enjoy. But ultimately, if you want to get technical about it, the crossbow it just really isn't the best choice. We'll come back to the ranged weapons in regards to the sneak attacks to see what the best choice is there. But we're going to move on to melee now. Specifically, we're going to start with utility weapons because we're always out gathering stuff and a zombie surprises us, and maybe we're out of arrows or our weapon broke. So it would be good to know what utility item we could use that would do the most damage. Because I have to know, how many punches does it take that could take out the Blaker dude? How about the stone axe? That comes in at 18 using a normal attack. Next, the steel pick. That comes in an 8 for the normal attack. Next, we have the steel axe. I'm actually surprised. It's only 6 hits with the axe. How about the hunting knife? Not to be confused with the machete. This is a utility, not a weapon. That comes in at 14. And how about the steel shovel? And this comes in at 11. Can you dig it? For the utility items that have power attacks, let's see what that looks like. The steel pick only takes 4 power attacks to take down a zombie. The axe only takes 3, and the axe is looking pretty good right now. And the knife came out to 6, although I don't know what happened to that footage. Alright, let's move on to the real stuff. Using no skills to start things off, we'll do the club, the machete, and the sledge, and see where they dial in at. Starting with the iron club, it's 8 headshots, normal attacks. And by the way, this is with no mods. And we got 9 for the machete. It's hammer time! And the sledge comes out at 5. Let's see what happens if we do max skills using these weapons and compare the difference. So the first thing we want is 10 in strength, and we're doing this for the 50% increase to damage. Next, the sexual Tyrannosaurus. You get 50 stamina after you kill a zombie with a killing blow, which is huge. You got flurry of blows, Melee attack speed increased by 25%. You have stay down. Power attacks do 200% more damage to stun enemies and 100% chance for power attacks to knock foes back down. 3 successful hits in a short time cause the last blow to do 100% extra damage. Sounds pretty good, but what you want to take from this is every time you do a power attack, that zombie's knocking over. So it's good for cloud control and keeping the flow, down. It's a great skill. And the last one we have here is Skull Crusher. Blows to the head do 100% more damage and 15% chance to explode heads on head, which is awesome. So there's 2 specialty skills that's more specific. We have Deep Cuts at 5. Power attacks do 200% more damage to stunned enemies. 100% chance to inflict bleeding damage. 60% chance for power attacks to bleed nearby foes. We're talking AoE damage now. And 15% chance for power attacks to decapitate. And this is specifically for the machete. The next you have for the hammer is Heavy Metal. Power attacks do 200% more damage to stun enemies. You have a 100% chance to knock down enemies with heavy weapons, and 60% for power attacks to knock down nearby foes. Again, another AoE attack. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. I say lady because I think there's one of them that watches this. We're going to do the power attacks now on the max, with max skills, even the optional ones, and see how it comes out. So using the power attack, all 3 weapons come out to 3 power attacks each to take out the zombies. I'm curious, do these skills have any value when using the utility weapons? Do they make a difference at all? Let's find out. This is great. The utility weapons also get the perks of the skills that we've selected. So, like for punching was 36, it's now 12 with max skills. That's huge. The stone axe is 7. Let's check out the other ones. The pick is down to 4 hits. And the axe is down to 3. The knife is at 6. The shovel comes out at 5, so now you know, don't bring a knife to a shovel fight. Of course we're going to do power attacks on these. It looks like it's actually 3 hits. However, I'm getting 2 consistently from the bleed perk from the knife tree, which is kind of interesting how that works with the pick. Only 2 hits with the axe.
Pretty good.
3 with the knife. Wait a minute. You're telling me the best weapon in the game is the axe at 2 hits, whereas the knife, the iron club, the machete, and the sledge are all at 3, but the axe is at 2, and also the pick is at 3. Technically it's 2 if you have the bleed effect. Not what I expected. I mean,
Explosion.
well, there you go. Don't underestimate a dude running at you with a steel pick, because he's going to pick more than your nose. Well, we learned a great deal from this. I mean, these skills do make a huge difference. Just comparing the numbers side by side, it's actually incredible just how much stronger it makes things. And it makes utility weapons viable as a main weapon, like the axe being the best single target. We haven't covered AoE damage yet, but for single target right now in Alpha 17, the axe is the place to be, which is kind of nice. It saves the room on your hotbar. Now you don't have to have an axe and whatever else. However, you have to keep in mind the mods also. You don't get the AoEs and you have limitations on the mods. So it's all about preference. But hey, an axe is a cheap thing to carry. Okay, now let's add the agility tree into the mix for the hidden strike bonus. You're going to have to take agility to 10, but you're going to get 200% damage increase with hidden strike. And then from the shadow and ninja movement speed are just things, life improvement features as far as speed and detection goes. This is when things really take a turn and just show you how powerful this build is. While in sneak mode, using any of the ranged bow weapons, you can one-shot the biker zombies with it. Freaking amazing. The club comes out at 2, the machete at 2, and the sledge at 1 when using a sneak attack. Now technically, that's not very accurate because you only get one shot before you're noticed. So really, it's only one for all of them. But perhaps in a PvP situation, if they haven't turned around yet, it's 2 for each, minus the sledge. That's just a one-hitter. Alright guys, to finish this out, we're going to do the weapons now. Now, with the weapons, they all have their own specific skill, generally for reloading and stuff. However, all the range skills that we've gone over so far generally apply across all of them. So that said, the way we're going to handle this is we're going to do headshots and body shots just to compare them all to see how they compare to one another. And I apologize, due to the length of the video, I'm going to have to speed this up a little. Alright, so I went through all the guns and here are the results. For the blunderbuss, it's 1 headshot, 3 body shots. The pistol, 3 headshots, 8 body shots. The magnum, 1 headshot, 3 body shots. Hunting rifle, 2 shots to the head, 3 to the body. Shotgun, the shells, and the slugs. There's no difference actually, same results, 1 headshot, 3 body shots. The SMG was kind of interesting. It was 3 headshots but also 10 body shots. And then the marksman rifle was 2 headshots, 3 body shots. A little side note, I didn't mention steel ammo in the results because it's exactly the same as the copper ammo. The only difference is the steel wear out the barrels of the gun much faster. Thus, when you have the opportunity, always use copper over steel, but generally steel is much easier to farm, so it's nice that we have that option. As far as the best gun here, I can't really tell you that, only you can identify that yourself because it's all about preference. I mean, close range and stuff, the shotgun obviously is a good choice, and as far as pistols go, the Magnum is, does more damage than the pistol. But outside of that, comparing the rifles and such, again, rate of fire and its response and how you control it, it's all in the field. So you have to make that decision for yourself. Alright guys, to finish this out, I got 2 builds that we kind of went over already. And it's the melee build, close range. In addition to that, you have the range build. Now ultimately, there's skills that you may want first before getting all of these. But in the end, this is your end goal, is to get all these skills. And I want to show you that and kind of review what it would look like and to give you an idea of what you might want to shoot for. Now we're going to start off with the ranged build, and this is what I call the 1 headshot build. You're going to want 10 in perception, 5 in archery, 5 in boom headshot, 5 in run and gun, 10 in agility, 5 in hidden strike, ninja movement, and for in and out from the shadows, which is optional. The cost of this is 51 points. Here are some of the pros about it. You can run a really long time thanks to 200 stamina. You only need to add 5 points for cardio for the 30% stam regen since you have the requirements. You can also do 5 points for 50% armor rating and 100% durability on light armor. And you can transfer or transition into other range builds with 5 points per weapon type desired. Can one shot in PvP, and it's less risky of being hit. Your arrows can blot out the sun. Food, water, and bandages, the requirement are reduced in comparison to other builds. The cons, however, it's very expensive skill point wise. The constant farming for feathers for ammo, and weak and scary in close quarter combat. You can get in real trouble And of course, running zombies is also an issue. If you plan just to do PvP, this is pretty much where it's at. But if you really want to focus heavily on doing dungeons and houses and stuff, this is really going to come up short in some areas. You're going to want to bring a buddy because you're not going to be very durable in those situations. But outside of that, you're the man. The next build I call the Melee God. For this, you want 10 Strength, 5 in Sexual Tyrannosaurus, 5 in Flurry of Blows, 5 in Stay Down, 5 in Skull Crusher, 10 in Fort, 5 in the Heavy Armor, for the 50% armor bonus and 60% durability. The 5 in Healing Factor for 1 HP every 4 seconds. The pros of this, you have 5 points to max out both Sledge and Machete if you want to pick one of those. Also, Motherload, more resources from Gather, only need 5 points. And again, same thing with Miner 69er. And also the Pack Mule, so you can carry more stuff. No ammo is necessary. The cons is obviously range. Chance to be stunned until you max out the one skill. And then bandages, food, and water, you're going to require a lot more of those. And slower movement speed due to the heavy armor. But you can take a lot of hits in this build. It's very forgiving. Very good in PvE. It's very strong. You can definitely take a lot in comparison to the ranged build. But of course, because you have to get into the thick of things, there's risk. Just to illustrate how tanky the build is, if you watch now, this is a character in steel armor purposely standing there taking it. This concludes my first guide for Alpha 17. If you guys enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. And leave me a comment letting me know that you appreciate it to inspire me to make more. You have a great evening.
You know, Smithers, I think I'll donate $1 million to the local orphanage. When pigs fly.
Will you be donating that $1 million now, sir?
No, I'd still prefer not.